Hi there Pokefans, I'm your humble host Charzit Fan and you're watching Pokemon Gym Challenges. Today we take on this fisherman out here. Let's see how strong a fisherman can be. And he starts out with a Burbouch, which is a pre-evolution of the catfish Pokemon. I can't exactly remember his name right now, but it's a good start to start with that Pokemon, although it would have been better if he had the evolved version. He is on a very high level of 62 compared to my 52. I think I'm going to keep with Electros. There he is, Wishcash. I should have known that this guy only has one species of fish. That was a quick one. I didn't even see the thing completely lose all of his HP. Okay, Corvana was quite easy, although Corvana has rough skin, so that did some damage to me as well. Okay, what on earth was that? He sends out another Wishcash. Was that Pokemon invisible? Okay, so far he has 3 Wishcash, including one pre-evolved and a pre-evolved Sharpedo. Damn. Bloody Fissure gets Lantern every single bloody time. Can't I just get through one single battle without Fissure taking out Lantern? Should have stayed with Electros, because he would have had an immunity to ground type attacks, which means Fissure would not have hit. Or at least it wouldn't have tried Fissure because of the possibility or the probability that it wouldn't hit. Damn, he almost took out Fluffy. Maybe it was better that I switched out, because that Rock Slide would have taken out Wishcash, because that's the only attack that can hit him. And he was already approximately half HP. But I'm definitely going to have to find a way to level up a Lantern without him flippin' dying all the time from one hit KO moves like Fissure. All of the Pokemon I've faced that hit Fissure, it was always Lantern that had to take the Fissure. It's as if the game is programmed to throw out Fissure if Lantern is the one on the opposing side. Makes you think that the Lantern is possibly the best Pokemon ever to have been created. Now, as I said in previous episodes, at the end of this game I'm going to show you a game, and it will be a edited moveset, because in this specific game that moveset is impossible, but in later games it is completely possible to have that specific moveset. Although it is not a perfectly optimized moveset, it was just one I thought of by the end of the game, because I encountered certain moves. And I thought that some of those moves, I thought it was an optimized moveset, to put it bluntly. But since the Lantern doesn't have all that much bulk, it is not really an optimized moveset. Okay, that shaking grass over there ought to be some sort of Pokemon that you can attack that gives you additional HP. And I'm thinking specifically about Ordino, or it is some kind of rare Pokemon that you can catch that only appears in Shaking Grass, but 90% of the time it's going to be Ordino. Let's go up here. Hi there, lady. That's nice singing. Dive. Thank you very much. Now, who should I teach dive to? Lantern already has Surf, which is the most effective move he can learn at this stage of the game. And I think the moveset I use later on is actually much better, but serve as utility as well, in that it allows me to traverse bodies of water like this. Okay, there aren't any items on this little island. I wonder, do I want to dodge this guy or do I want to fight him? And does dive actually give me any utility in this game? Okay, max repel, of course. Hi there, dude. Okay, Story. Story shouldn't have fissure, I think. I wonder if there's a water type 1-hit KO moves of move. Okay, Lantern, you're up. Jellicent is a bugger. Lantern, Jellicent has cursed body, which means it might cause my moves to not be as effective. Thank you, Jellicent, for activating rain. It's a pity I just don't have thunder, because that's an awesome move to use. Now that gives me an idea on how I could have optimized the Lantern at the end of this thing better. As it is, I didn't do it, but how on earth? Monotype is on level 55, so of course he breaks through my max repel. Okay, I understand what happened in the previous game. It was my bloody recoil damage that got me this low. I forgot that Wild Charge has recoil damage. Okay, I can't do an electric attack against you. He does muddy water. That's a fairly... okay. And he has Cloud 9. Who shall I use? Okay. I think Jolteon is my best bet over here. But that still does a bloody lot of damage. I think that was a hydro pump that hit me over there. He's gonna use Quagsire. Okay, let's go for Lantern, of course. Lantern has my Surf and my Ice Beam. And Ice is strong against ground as well. And it bypasses the water weakness, which means I am only dealing with one weakness. I mean, the water based neutrality. That's what I meant. Because I'm working on the principle, even though it is probably not true, that a ground and water type Pokemon is neutral against water and weak against water, which makes it 75% effective, whereas a pure water type would be 50-50 on water, and a fire type would be double weak against water, or it would do double damage, something like that. So to put it differently, against a pure water type I'd be doing half damage. Against a water and ground type I would be doing 1.5 times damage, and against a pure ground type I would be doing 2 damage. It's probably not like that, but that's how I assume that it works at this stage of the game. And I haven't done very many things to experiment with that, or even done any research on it at all whatsoever. Did I get hit with a first body over there? That's making me switch to a different attack. What am I looking for over here? There's the experience share. Stunfisk you all the experience share, because in this little body of water, there's a diving hole. in this little body of water, you're probably not going to do any fighting. Okay, Wilmer. That is actually a fairly good Pokemon. I used it in my first water playthrough, the one that didn't make it to YouTube. And he's actually quite... damn, Electros fainted. Anyway, he's actually quite good if you can get him to attack first. He's not as heavy as I would have liked him to be. He has all the bulk in the world, but I would have liked him to be at least 2 or 3 times heavier than he is. Okay, do I have a full restore? Oh. Finally, I use a revival herb. Let's fight this girl over here. She only has one Pokemon, Corsola. Now, when I watched the anime, I thought Corsola was a much better Pokemon than it turned out being, because of its rock and water typing. But rock type still gets affected by electric type for some reason. I always thought that rock shouldn't be affected by electric type Pokemon. That assumption was of course based on the fact that most rock types are off ground type as well. So when I saw Corsola for the first time, I assumed it would be immune to electric type attacks like all the other water and ground types are. But it is not. So therefore, it doesn't gain very many advantages and gains a lot more disadvantages. It does gain a efficacy, if I can put it that way, against ice types and flying types. But Lantern has that same efficacy against flying types. Okay, is there anyone else around that I can fight? I think I did fight this dude. Yes, I did. Another diving hole. Now I don't have dive or a diving Pokemon, so I'm probably not going to explore these diving holes unless I go back somewhere and catch myself a diving Pokemon or use one of my HMUs to learn dive, probably the doggy. Yeah, I'm back in Route 14. I may as well have gone back to the other side. I wonder who's around here. Okay, Cynthia lives here, but I'm not going to fight her just yet. I'm going to leave that fight for later on. At the end of the game, I will fight against Cynthia with my specific strategy I was referring to the whole game. I took out that weasel in a single attack. So now I'm being taken into this rich guy's house over here. So this part of the game takes place over several days, because I'm going to take on the whole rich family over here. You of course will only see it in a single episode. Come on, Throat, stop bloody doing that to me. Okay, so this is a guy that collects rare items, and this is his museum. Here's a bed over here. It's a whole open concept. I don't know many rich people in my country that would do a open concept. There's Cynthia over there. I am not ready for you, Cynthia. You are way too strong for me to fight at this stage of the game. No, I don't think I'm going to be your opponent. So I decided to do the opponent thing anyway. And she's on level 75, which is way too strong for me. You will see that I'm basically going to lose against Spiritomobile. Come on. Why didn't that hit? Come on. You see, that takes care of Electros and I have hardly done any damage at all. Okay, let's see how much damage a wild charge does this time. Come on, why didn't that hit? Okay, that does a decent amount of damage. And it hits me with a bloody will-o-wisp. Which means that attack does bugger up. I was hoping that it did a bit more than that. I mean, it went from doing 75% of HP on the Spiritomb to doing 10%. That is not how burn damage is supposed to affect you. It's supposed to allow you at least half damage of the previous attack. Granted, the previous attack may have been a high roll, but still. As you can see, I am losing over here. I am definitely losing. I don't even get to take out Spiritomb on its own. Okay, at least Zekrom takes out the bloody Spiritomb. Okay, Jolteon, you're up. Maybe we can do something over here. I mean, it's a Milotic, but I hardly do any damage at all. I mean, that is about a quarter damage. And it's an attack that I am fairly good at. Okay, that is slightly more than a quarter, but Jolteon gets taken out. This time I ought to have a little bit of an advantage. I should have led with Lantern from the beginning because that water type attack would have done no damage at all. So this is the team I'm going to be facing at the end of the game. You will see. Oh, come on. And that's going to take out Lantern. Yep. Lantern just cannot survive a bloody water type attack. So that brings my whiteout counter up to 3. I'm just exploring the other houses now. I am not going back to Cynthia because she bloody just wipes the mop with me, mops the floor with me. Language is difficult. Who is this? Ah, old lady. I wonder if I can at least beat you. She has 2 Pokemon, so I ought to have some advantage. But Cynthia may as well only have had 2 Pokemon as well. Because I couldn't beat the first Pokemon at all. The first Pokemon took out 4 Pokemon of mine. 3 at least, half of my team, and the other one took out the other half of my team. Without me ever doing any damage to it at all. Come on. At least I know that Chemical is a psychic type. So I can at least do some damage to it. Kricketot is next. That takes out that Kricketot as well. Now that was a risky play from me. Now to heal up Electros a bit. And here we go. Old gentleman over here. Okay, Wild Charge ought to do some good damage over here. And it does. Granby. Okay, Fluffy, you're up. Now, I wonder if Grand Bull is a fairy type at this stage. No, it's not. Because if it was a fairy type, that Brick Break wouldn't have done any damage to it at all whatsoever. So, Grand Bull is one of those Pokemon that benefited greatly from having its type changed to fairy type. Why am I struggling so much to talk to them? Takes me half an hour to say something. Oh, come on, man. Okay. So I took out my Fluffy, which means Fluffy doesn't get any experience, but I wonder if Stunfisk got any experience, because he is holding the experience share if I remember correctly. Okay, Hyper Potion, go. I suppose he did a takedown against me, that bloody Grand Bull. Well, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the win. He should have won much better because he should have been a fairy type. But that is something for another occasion. And if he was a fairy type, I would have used someone with a poison type attack. That is basically the reason I have that poison type attack, other than having to fight against bugs and grass type Pokemon. It assumes that fairy types exist already, because in later generations they do exist. Okay, this is going fairly well, at least. So the Ice Beam meets first, so that means Lantern is much faster than Electros. At least Electros goes up to level 54. This is taking quite a long time to level up. And I didn't learn Flail because I don't see any utility in it. Maybe I just don't see the strategy to use. Karate Kid. He has two Pokemon, Soak and probably the red dude as well. Not. Hitmonlee is the next dude. Let's try a Crush Claw against him and see how much that does. Not very much. Let's see what Crunch does. Now the advantage of doing that Dragon's Tail earlier is that when Soak comes out again, he no longer has Sturdy, if he should have Sturdy, which means that I can just take him out in a single attack. And I'm going to do that with, well, I thought I was going to do that with Fly, but obviously I'm going to use a Dragon Claw. And it is, well, it's strong enough, not effective, but it's strong enough. Okay, let's go back to the Pokemon Center. Okay, I'm not going back to the Pokemon Center. What the hell am I doing? I think I made a wrong turn, that's why I'm not going to the Pokemon Center and resorting to having to use potions over here. I don't have my HM Mule, so I can't use Strength on that rock over there. Some more fishermen, and a Krabby. I love Krabby. I just have never found a reason to use it. It would have been nice if they made a regional variant of Krabby, but the water type is already so oversaturated. And what I mean by that is that I want it to be let's make it a bug type. So that'll work. Anyway, this is going to be the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode and I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Thank you and goodbye.